Please share my Doc Starseed messages with others so that more people can come along and get involved. I'm a PhD ex-psychologist for children with cancer, thanatologist, death and dying bereavement doc, hospice psychologist, certified hypnotherapist, who's who amongst American teachers, the one you're nominated for and win, not the one you pay to play. I'm a multiple award-winning author, intuitive, real-life starseed, certified angelic reader, telekinetic vocal healer, hands-on healer, light activator, new earth grid worker, divine medical download, light language healer, and whistleblower. Yep, my private practice at the Institute was, for all intents and purposes, raided years ago. And although I was exonerated of all charges, I had to close down my private practice of working with grieving families, children, and of course, hurting lost souls. It was devastating. It was scary, to say the least. I had absolutely no outside support system and could tell no one. The lead male special agent on the case called me months after the almost year-long investigation and apologized profusely to me with the sincerest grief that they were so wrong and that the world had lost an incredible therapist through their predatory procedures. It was too late, though. The damage was done, and I had to close the practice. I became a temporary typist, with a PhD, in a corporation to pay the bills after I lost everything and had to start again. And I did. I moved on to become an award-winning ex-vice president banker. Yeah, go figure. PhD to president banker. I was also an award-winning Silver Team financial advisor. I had the highest client satisfaction score that was recorded in the office that I worked because of my ethics and truly caring and working for the benefits of my clients, and of course not my pocketbook in an industry that was full of vultures. I was a reader of books for the blind. I did off-Broadway and have attended the Emmys, not for my own work, but a connection I had in Hollywood. I'm also an award-winning ghostwriter, and my first book was picked up and published in a pen name series that I signed hundreds of copies with at the Javits Center in New York City with Diane Keaton, Michael Moore, John Lithgow, and the list goes on. My book, of course, not theirs, was pulled off the market because I told the truth. And in this world, that can be dangerous. The publisher went bankrupt, stole my royalties. Barnes & Noble went bankrupt, stole my book signing and sales income. And as much as I want to complete the series and republish it, I have to be safe and have to have, obviously, the funds to do so. So why do I keep saying award-winning? It's to prove a point that I have excelled despite the system. But I'm not special or better than anyone. And if you met me, I'm really down to earth. I have a fun-loving personality, and I actually even have a sense of humor. As a ghostwriter, I won awards for all my clients that submitted, and I never got any credit for it. People always ask me, but how can you not want the accolades? Quite simply, it's because I have no ego. I tamed that years ago, and I know the high quality work I put into everything, so it doesn't really matter to me. I am so proud that no matter what, I keep putting out valuable and truthful work. I have fought every system there is, from big pharma to publishing to you name it, I've done it. And I want to continue to help heal people, as many as are ready to be healed. And I really only work on valuable and mind-expanding alternative methods of healing and living. Because on a personal note, I'm also a Crohn's disease survivor. After bleeding from my bowels for 18 years, I healed myself holistically, never, ever touching traditional pharmaceuticals. And I just came through the healing of my own severely sprained ankle with no need of medical attention. And yep, I drank contaminated tetrachloroethylene in my well that nearly destroyed my life. And while I went out and warned everyone, I got shut down. And somehow, all the paperwork in the state facility disappeared. And you know what? Very few wanted to hear the truth about how their wells were contaminated because they cared more about the value of their properties than they cared about the long-term damage that would happen to their children. I couldn't believe it. Anyways, I've suffered in physical pain, had emotional attacks since I was born, but I always rise up. I've buried my parents, many beautiful children, and I do know more people in heaven than I do on earth. And while I continue to Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, beautiful light warriors, old souls, and evolving beings. Today I'm going to talk about a topic that's difficult. And the first thing that I want to share with you is that we don't all have the same knowledge base. And the most important thing is, if something doesn't resonate with you right away, don't worry about it. Let it go. However, there's a real possibility that some information, if you just let it play out or listen to it, will trigger or spark a feeling in you that shows you or motivates you or spurs you to go do more research. And part of the reason why I'm putting these messages out is because some voices and beings are drawn to other collective beings who might be part of their star family. It's the reason why you can listen to some people, immediately feel love and compassion for them, and you listen to other people and it's like, no, I'm not going there. The most important piece is you listen to your instincts, your heart. If your heart is there with that person, wonderful. Continue along with them. If it is not, go seek another group. The incredible part right now is more and more people are coming forward to share their story and to help others see how we can move beyond the matrix that we currently live in. And sometimes what happens is we join a group and we resonate with them for a little while. I love those Freudian slips. Resonate with them for a little while. And when we grow to a certain level, they no longer fulfill us or serve our needs. And the beautiful part in a higher dimensional reality is the person who has filled you up with so much, who may no longer do that, if they are evolved enough, they want to see you go. They want to see you grow. It's the way that I was in my psychology practice. I didn't want people long term. I wanted them in, healed, on their way so that they could go live their best life. What happens is people get trapped and they think that, I have to be a loyal supporter. I have to follow them to the end of my days because they gave me this certain knowledge. No, that's old thinking mentality. People who have open, compassionate, light worker hearts want you to evolve more than anything in the world, which it's okay if you move to another channel or group. It's okay if this message stops resonating with you and you need to hear a message of a more highly evolved being, or you need to hear a message from a more practical, grounded being. It is all fine. What is not fine is when those pretending to be gurus or truth tellers or to have some information force you into their circle, thereby appearing as though they have something that you don't have. You see, you have all the answers inside of you. You just may not have learned how to listen to them. And when people giving messages are resonating on this higher frequency, we are actually working with your higher divine being to help you move through, which is why we have absolutely no problem when you move into higher growth periods. The only people who are doing the infighting have egos involved. Perhaps they have income involved. Perhaps there's pay to play. Perhaps they aren't who you think they are and may not be coming from the love source. You have to learn that for yourself. Go into your heart. It is good to absolutely learn everything you possibly can to empower yourself. And then let go. Let go of what no longer helps you. That is one way of bringing your power back to your center. And that's what this is all about. We spend our lives every day. I do too. I'm not above it because I'm still on this planet talking, giving our power away. We are 99%, actually 100%, but electromagnetic beings with only 1%, a small portion in actual physical form. And once your mind can grasp this, you will understand that we can even change our physical form from disease to complete healing. And all it takes is the thought and the inertia and the desire to move in that direction. And when you start with positive thoughts and moving in that direction and knowing from your heart you can, not what your mind or ego or matrix tells you, you will start to bring the wonderful things into your beingness. Now, as an electromagnetic being, there is something the matrix does not want you to know. This world is energy, but when you come down onto the earth planet and your soul enters a physical body, you lose your memories and you're controlled by the matrix. And I know I'm going to upset some people, but a portion of the matrix is absolutely artificial intelligence. And with the artificial intelligence means that not every being walking on this planet has a soul. People, situations arrive in front of you to show you, to teach you a lesson, and to help you grow. If you don't understand this quite yet, don't even worry about it. I'm going to move on because I will discuss this more. I just am putting it out there for it to start to move the vibrations in your body, in your beingness, so that we can continue to advance. The things you pay attention to and draw attention to will be magnified. They can be magnified to make your life more difficult, or they can be magnified to break you free and move on to a wonderful life. The phrases that I have found through the years that have helped the most are these two. I do not consent, and not in my timeline. Not in my timeline. Now, why are they so effective? A lot of people through the years talked about the law of attraction. Yeah, I agree with the law of attraction to a certain degree. But again, sort of like psychology and labels, it can limit you. You came to this planet to create, to learn, to expand, to grow, to break free. And yes, some starseeds, lightworkers, wanderers, we specifically came because there was a calling from the universe that Earth was in really, really rough shape and needed the help to move through the transition that we're going through now, Ascension. Even if you are not on board yet with this whole theory of expansion and ascension, these two phrases are going to immediately make changes in your life. So how do you use them? I always recommend for anyone to start their morning and to end their night resetting their vessel. What does that mean? You have a physical body, you have a mind and ego, and you have a spiritual body. If you've listened to my other videos, you're starting to get the idea that we are way more spiritual, way more multidimensional than we are physical. Only a small percentage of us is actually physical. And in this matrix, with control systems that were set up, those systems are set up to feed the negative. It is set up to feed those who serve themselves, those in power, those who control the money, those who are manipulators, those who are liars, sociopaths, narcissists, you name it, practice dark arts. It does not matter. That system is dark, it is damaged, it is broken, it is controlling, and it is there to do one thing: bring you fear and siphon off your energy. Now, we are light beings. If you are listening to this message, then you know that something in your heart wants to change. You're probably an absolutely phenomenal person who has all these dreams and desires of what you want to do, but you just, everywhere you go, there are roadblocks. To break through, you have to tell artificial intelligence and the matrix that you do not consent. I do not consent. I do not consent to that life. I do not consent to that timeline. Not on my timeline, because I'm co-creating my universe. So I don't care if the entire world comes up to me and tells me, oh, you're not going to have enough this. I don't care if it's money, food, or this or that. I don't care. Oh, this is going to stop you. Oh, the world is a bad place. All those things are true to a degree. If they want to live in that world, let them live in that world. But you don't have to. So when you wake up in the morning, the most beautiful phrase to say is, I do not consent to manipulations, lies, whatever it may be. And you say, I'm resetting my vessel. Your vessel is your body. And you're telling AI, artificial intelligence, and the matrix, I'm resetting my body. I'm rising above the fallen matrix. Now, because I come from a higher dimension, I often turn around and say, well, I'm resetting my vessel for 14th dimension, above the fallen matrix that's happened hundreds of thousands of years that put the hold on over 13th dimension. Way too complicated to explain. But the important piece is you just tell your beautiful little body, I am resetting my vessel. I do not consent to those things that they're trying to give us. I don't consent to putting anything in my body that isn't good for me. And if I do, my light body is so strong, I'm going to override it all. And if you are sitting there listening to something that gives you a stomach ache or makes you feel icky, or it's just, like mainstream news or real things that are happening on the 3D world, which are painful to learn and painful to know about it, then you just turn around to your beautiful little vessel, knowing that you are your own master, and you say to it, nope, not on my timeline. I do not consent. This works even better than the law of attraction. And the reason being is often with the law of attraction, we're pulling in what we think we need, what we think we want. And oh my, let me tell you, you will get what you ask for. And when you get what you ask for, be careful. Because the thing is, you didn't realize that wasn't really what you wanted. So the best way is always to add those phrases and ask for the highest and best. I am asking universe to provide me with the highest and best abundance, prosperity, unconditional love, beauty, an environment of peace and unity and harmony, always for my highest and best. And if you show me something that isn't the greatest, well, I may start now to recognize that was matrix controlled or a karmic lesson. Again, this message is more complicated. It is more advanced. And I wasn't going to put it out to the public. I was going to keep it for a private group. But my intention is that this will start to resonate with you and that you will start to vibrate at a higher frequency and to move yourself through. It does not matter if you don't see one person around you doing this. The only person who matters is you at this moment. And what is missing from this universe is people are looking to be saved, to be healed, to be all of these things. And yes, I want that for everyone. But the bottom line is, if you stepped into yourself, healed yourself, stopped giving your power away, realize that you are your own master and that you have way more power than you realize, you will vibrate at such a level that everything else will fall away. Because negative energy cannot survive when so much light is radiating. Do not allow your energy to be taken from you. Even worse, don't just unconsciously wander through your day giving it away. Oh, here you go, bad energy. Oh, here, let me feed this system, politics. Oh, let me let government rule my world. No. If every one of us, the souls, the real souls on this planet, stood up and said, no more, I am the creator. of my universe. I can assure you all the darkness, all the control, all the evil, all the manipulations would literally disappear. You can choose to stay in the 3D world because it feeds you. Feeds your ego, feeds your family, because you're listening to other people, because you're playing the victim card. Whatever you're doing, you absolutely have that right. However, if you would like to move forward, an entire, as I've said in my other videos, an entire group of starseeds, light workers, wanderers, walk-ins, you name it, are holding the light in the higher dimension on this earth. You're not going anywhere. You don't have to go anywhere. You can. And we are anchoring in so much, as well as all the new people who are babies who are being born and children now who are have their memories when they arrive and have the upgraded DNA. For the first time in over 26,000, almost 500 years, you have a chance to make the choice to move to the higher dimension. And I really, really hope that this message brings you some strength, some hope, some knowledge, some understanding, and that you say, not only do I not consent to the matrix, but I absolutely do consent to the highest vibration that serves the highest and best for myself and all of humanity, because my life is about serving others and not serving myself. If you like this message, make sure to like, subscribe. I am setting up a channel on Buzzsprout, trying to get a membership together so that questions can be sent in. I did get some private messages with fantastic questions. So I'm considering how I can do a question and answer live. I'm going to be honest, I'm learning all this technology. So as much as I might know about other things, this is all new to me, and I'm working with old systems. So if you feel or you have the ability to donate, please go to my GoFundMe site. It's listed, and or go to Buzzsprout, join up, give a little subscription fee. I thank you all. I hope you are having just an incredible day. And no matter what faces you today, anytime you're stopped in traffic or somebody says something to you that you don't like, you don't actually have to respond. You don't have to fight back, because it's just taking energy from yourself. Be the light. Know that you are better than the circumstances or those around you. Step up. Don't give your power away. And join us in the higher dimensions, because that's where they're making the most beautiful earth. And I want all of you there with me. Love you. Hello to all you beautiful evolving souls. I did manage to upload the last video on soul contracts and why bad things happen to good people. So definitely go back and check that out. It's a doozy. No matter how many times I tried the audio or to upload it all day yesterday, I had nothing but problems. So it must be good material, right? All right. Well, today I'm going to try to make this short, and it's the 3 words that will save you. Everybody thinks it's I love you. I love you is wonderful to hear, especially if somebody means it and they're not looking for something from you, but they genuinely are sharing their love for you. But the 3 words, and this isn't easy to hear, I forgive you. Now, why is this so important? Because in this human body, after we have been hurt, stomped on, potentially violated, abused, picked on, gone through an illness, been told how to live, you name it, all of those things, it is very, very hard to turn around to those perpetrators, many of whom knew exactly what they were doing and fed off your energy for it. But to turn around and say, I forgive you, why should I have to do that? I don't want to be some guru walking along in a spiritual peace bubble back on the hippie train. This is real life. It's hard, right? I assure you, I have had those feelings as well. How can I possibly forgive the individuals who did things to the children I worked with? How? Wouldn't I be irresponsible? Taking responsibility is stepping up and above what the issues are. If you can help, you absolutely walk in there and do what you can do. But if it puts your life at risk, go back and see my lifeguard video, then you need to walk away. When I worked with children with cancer, of course, there were other family dynamics going on. And I had a little girl who was about 5 years old who came into my office, a new client, new patient, just diagnosed. And sure enough, she walked in and she drew one picture and I saw it right there. Nobody else would have seen it because they're not attuned to reading drawings. But she was being sexually abused. And I had the foresight to A, see it, B, go to the head medical physician. And thank heavens at that point, he tried to listen to me. He really tried to listen to me. But also in that hospital, we had a phenomenal female physician who knew about children and sexual abuse inside and out. And so I called her for help. She immediately came down to see me. And the great news was, I was still very young at that time myself. The great news was she kind of counseled me into the steps of, how you can actually diagnose and see if anything had ever happened. And you can't bring any attention to the parents while this is going on. And you don't want to make a mistake because you do not want to blame parents who may be totally innocent in this situation. I also had great concerns at the time about how Child Protective Services worked. So I definitely was on top of that one. So it turned out after her physical exam, I was absolutely correct. And I won't say any more of the story. However, the girl is fine. And that's the most important piece. And she got the help that she needed. But how can I possibly forgive the perpetrator who did that to that child? Does my heart break? Is it wrong? Absolutely. However, when you hang on to any emotion, any resentment, anything that goes against a universal law, and a universal law is as simple as love unconditionally. When you put out those vibes of resentment, anger, fear, anything in a lower vibration level, what you are doing is it is reflecting, mirroring back to you, and you are hurting yourself. As they say, a gun doesn't kill people. People kill people. In this case, holding on to resentment does not kill that other person. It slowly kills you. And the whole point of doing these videos is to help you wake up to how programmed we are and how we think, oh, I never have to forgive that person, or look what they did to me. And people hold what happened to them as these badges of honor. Well, I did this and that was done to me, and all of these other things. This is why I'd really like you to go back and listen to the other video, Why Bad Things Happen to Good People and What Soul Contracts Are, because you will discover that the experiences that you go through, you actually planned before you came to this planet. And that is so hard to learn and so difficult to comprehend. But what I want you to take away today, if you can, is start to make a list of the people who you truly haven't forgiven. And you know who I'm going to start with? Yourself. Oh, you have to let it go. You did things wrong. You're in a 3D matrix world. You had things you had to explore. You messed up more times than I can possibly count. You smoked too much pot, you drank too much alcohol, you partied too much, you didn't treat people with respect, you name it. Maybe you were in circumstances where you acted less than honorable. Forgive yourself. A new day is here. Everything is changing. And if you choose to move into the higher vibrations, you move into the vibrations of universe. And in universe, there truly is this incredible feeling of love, an incredible feeling that of peace and harmony. And you can get there. And after you've forgiven yourself, start to think about those people that you may not have forgiven and how you can react differently. I'm not saying that you have to do what happens, I think in the Alcoholics Anonymous program, and I may be wrong, but I think one of the things is to write a letter and give it to those people who you forgive. And you may not be able to either find the perpetrator or go up to the perpetrator or up to that person who maybe they were incredibly loving and perfect to you and you just did not treat right. That you don't necessarily have to do. Plus, the person that you're giving it to may not be ready to hear it. But you can start to change the way in which you react. When somebody is being abusive, you no longer have to stand there and take it. Put a boundary around yourself and walk away. Doesn't mean that you have to fight. Doesn't mean that you have to tell them they're wrong. Doesn't mean that you have to interact, because again, what happens if you were fighting and arguing and telling them they're wrong? What is mirroring back to you? That tension. Actually, I'm getting tense just talking about it. That tension. So you want to actually be able to let them say what they need to say at whatever level or space they're at, and then walk away. And as you get stronger and you realize it ahead of time, you simply do not put yourself in those situations. You say, I forgive you to yourself. I forgive you for not knowing better at that time, but I am wiser now. I am walking through, and I will never, ever, ever put myself in that position again. That is waking up. That is discernment. That is raising your level of consciousness and awareness around you and taking personal responsibility for who you are, so that you don't need to be come in and saved, so that you can walk the walk and be the light that you were born to be. Let the people who came into this lifetime, who chose to live in their own form of created misery and emotional abuse and drama, narcissism, manipulation, psychosis, whatever it may be, let them go live that life. That's not your life any longer. Let it go. The quicker you can say those 3 words, I forgive you, the quicker you will move into a higher vibration of love and meet others around you who no longer play those games. I hope that was helpful. I'm sending you wonderful, wonderful energy for a creative, beautiful day, and to go through your day paying attention to the way in which you're going to live, but in a new way, an energized, a happy, a confident, a peaceful way. If this message helped, hit like, subscribe, share. And of course, if you have $1 or $2 that you could possibly spare, head over to GoFundMe or just go to Buzzsprout and go to the subscription page. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Love you.